for the second week in a row on the podcast, unfortunately, or third, I don't know. I think I might do one more preemptively, but that will be a deck tech for one of my commander decks. Either way, no matter when you're seeing this, I'm still in the midst of moving, or I've already moved to my new home in New Jersey, where I'm formerly from. So that's why it's a draft video, because, yeah, I don't have access to the computer right now. On that being said, welcome to Max Heroes and Villains. My name is Dom Douglas here, and we are playing some Magic the Gathering Arena finally again, and we are playing some Pick 2 draft. Not Pick 2 draft. We're doing Premier Draft Lorwyn, and yeah, let's get things going. But first, now we are going to do the draft again. Now, last time we tried Goblins. -1/-1 Goblins didn't work because we didn't pick our lane quick enough. So some of the templates that you can use: Azorius Merfolk, Dimir Flash and Fairies, Rakdos Goblins, Groll Vivid Midrange, Selesnya Kithkin, Orzhov Blight Engine, Izzet Elementals, Golgari Elves, Boros Blight Midrange, and Simic Vivid Ramp. So we're going to spend the 1,500 gems, meaning that we don't have any more gems after this if we don't do good. And we are going to do some drafting here. Now we are waiting for everybody to get seated. But this is my second Lorwyn draft that happened right after the first one. Have to get a bunch of content in the can, if you will, so to speak, for the next few weeks of the move. It is currently January 21st. And in 2 or 3 days, where I'm at is supposed to get like 6 inches of snow. It's going to be insanely crazy the next couple of days. But that being said, we open on our rare Twilight Diviner, 2 and a black for a 3/3 Elf Cleric. When this creature enters, survey 2. Whenever one or more creatures you control enter, if they entered or were cast from the graveyard, create a token that's a copy of one of them. This trigger ability is only once each turn. Whenever one or more other creatures you control enter, if they entered or were cast from a graveyard, create a token that's a copy of one of them. We're going to do some Twilight Diviner stuff here, I think. I don't care. I'm here for the vibes. You're not here for the good gameplay. I'm statistically a 4 to 5 win draft person. Most times. Alright, so we have that. Dream Caesar, when this creature enters, you may blight 1. If you do, each opponent discards a card. Anti-Sentence reveals a hand. -2/-2 till end of turn. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may blight 1. If you do, create a treasure token. For a 3/2 for 2, Kithkin Knight. I don't see any other good picks, so we're not going to go Rakdos Goblins for the love of you know what. Or even... Alright, Kinsbane Aspirant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, behold a Kithkin or pay 2. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. The Glow, as this aura enters, choose a color. Enchanted Land is the chosen color. Whenever Enchanted Land is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 additional mana of the chosen color. Liminal Hold. Great Forest Druid is probably going to be the pick. Great Forest Druid is a super big body, a super big butt, if you will. It's an 0/4, but it adds 1 mana of any color. Could make an argument for Swat Away. Dose of Dawnglow didn't really do anything, but I think we're going to pick the Great Forest. Goblin Warrior, Tend the Springs. 2 this deals 2 damage to each opponent. So right now this pack tells me that green is almost dried up, especially with us taking the Great Forest Druid. So part of me wants to take either the Brain Rot or the Sting Slinger. I'm going to take the Sting Slinger in case we do Rakdos Goblins again. So once again, the next pack, Midnight Tilling, is the only green card in there. That is telling me very, 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 very early on that green is taken out of the equation. Black is taken out of the equation. If I wanted to pivot right now, you can make an argument to pivot into the Azorius blue, not even Simic, but you can go into Mirror. You can go into Azorius right now. We can go into Boros if we wanted to. But with the Elder Ante being here, being the only card I can see a value short of pivoting, that's what we're going to take. There's a Grave Shifter, which is a Shapeshifter. But yeah, like even the Midnight Tilling Man, we're not doing that. The Feed the Flames, we're not doing that. So we're taking the Great Forest Druid out, sadly. We tried, but right now, it seems as if Rakdos is in play. White is also wide open as well. There's a Blossoming Defense that came in late, but, Kithkin, we could, in theory, this card wrecked my shop in one game. So I think I'm going to do that, and I'm going to worry about. When this enchantment enters, you may blight one. If you do, create 2 1/1 black-red goblin creature tokens. Whenever a goblin you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Oh, yeah. All right. Bad removal, but still removal. It's everything. Oh gosh. Let's just work on that. I mean, will it make the deck? If this makes the deck, we are in a bad situation. I like taking one of these, and I'm glad it came very, very late, so I don't have to waste a mid pick on the Burning Curiosity. Oh my gosh, Kithkin Knight, and it's the special card. Now we'll see if there's any other. We have an Eclipsed Elf. Whenever this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards. You may put an Elf, Swamp, Forest card from among them and put it in your hand. This would have been great if we were able to do elves. But remember, to our right, the green wasn't flowing coming to us. Part of me... Toss up between the Boulder Dash or the Cavalier. Now, the Cavalier, I think, is part of the bonus sheet. And I think it's a rare. So I'm going to take the Boulder Dash, because I think Glutton comes back. Nope, we're going to take Brain Rot. We're going to take the Blight Rot for removal. Now, Champion of the Path, 3 in a red. Elemental Sorcerer. As an additional cost to cast a spell, behold an elemental and exile it. Whenever another elemental you control enters, it deals damage. This is an elemental only card, and we don't, I even think, have any elementals yet. Shapeshifters technically, but Eulogist, the Scarblade Scout, it does mill 2 cards. And there's another Eclipsed Elf that we could have probably taken. I think, you know what, I just go for my normal and I take the rare. Darkness Descends, 2 -1/-1 counters on each creature. Wow, that's each creature though too. Tweeze, oh god, I hate that. Deals 3 damage to target. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. Shapeshifter. I do like this because it does put a counter on there, but I think I'm going to take the Tweeze for the better removal and see if that 1-drop comes back to us. There's a Goblin Scout, a Nameless Inversion, which is good removal. I'll take the Nameless Inversion because it's sort of removal and or a combat trick. Giant Warrior, a Goat Nap, a Simmer Creep, Blighted, a Blackthorn. But I might just take the kid. I'm not gonna take. I'm not gonna take the Goat Nap. If anything, I'm gonna take. I'm not playing it, but I'm doing it for greed for later on stuffs. We already have the Curiosity. We could take the Ante and the Slinger, but I think I'm going to take the Ante, the Auntie. And that gives us 8 creatures, and I think a fair number, 7 of them are in the goblins. Between, you know, extra warriors, warlocks, and whatnot. There we go. I love this card. The Eclipse Bogart, Goblin Scout, reveal the top 4 cards. You can reveal a swamp, a goblin, or a mountain. Auntie Sentence. Possibly sees play. Though, remember, our Fuzz Spikeling is 1 in a red. We treat it as 1 in a red. And the Prideful Feastling is 2 black. Because we're not obviously paying white for it. But these are shapeshifters. They're everything. They're a changeling. A changeling has every creature type. Now, I could have picked something, but the Glow Meadow Nomad, that is like a greed thing because I might want to do a Kithkin deck in Standard while absolutely farming gold for the next couple of months because I'm not playing the TMNT set. I'm not drafting it. I've already seen all the cards. I might get the Commander deck and do buy some singles and upgrades, but I'm not buying anything on it. The Glutton comes back to us. Boulder Dash. Deals 2 damage to any target, 1 damage to any other target. How many creatures are we at right now? 9? Instants and 2 sorceries. I think we're going to take the Boulder Dash here. I think I'm going to take the Spinners. Because I have an Obra deck that I've been playtesting on Arena as well. I made a lot of Commander decks. There it is. That's the one I wanted. I wanted that, hopefully, the Bile Vial to roll back to us. The Glutton roll back to us. So we've picked a lane, and we have definitely cohesion going on here. Now, that is a rating schemes, and I love rating schemes because that has Conspire. As you cast a spell with Conspire, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control that share color with it. When you do copy it, and you may choose new targets for the copy. I might just take that. I might take the Overgrown Tomb to be on. No, because we don't have green. I might take this, but it's the last pack. But you know what? There's nothing really else, so I'm going to take the rare. I'm going to take the one of the 2 rare packs that we got. While we're waiting, let's see. Name of the table. Bumstead. You got the name of the table. Now, Morn Song Aria. Players can't draw cards or gain life. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life, searches their library for a card, puts it in their hand, and then shuffles. Ooh, I would like that Goblin Warlock too. But I think we take the Morn Song Aria. We don't play Morn Song Aria. But we take the rare. Perfect Intimidation. 3 and a green. Exiles 2 cards from the hand. Remove all counters from target creature. I do like the Chaos Splitter, though. Spewer, though. I don't see main... I would like the Vile Bogart, but I want goblins. So I want the Chaos Spewer. And I want it now. Chaos Spewer is so good. Champion of the Weird. 3 and a black for a Goblin Berserker. As an additional cost, behold a goblin and exile it. Pay 1 life to blight 2. Target opponent blights 2. Activate only as a sorcery. When his creature leaves the battlefield, return the exile card to its owner's hand. Well, it's a goblin, and we're going to take it. We can actually start focusing on spells now, too. Because we're going to play 24 spells, 23 spells maybe. Grave Shifter. Because we have the 13 creatures. 13 creatures at the moment. Feed the Flames. Giant Fall. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. Destroy target artifact. Grave Shifter. Do I have a Grave Shifter? I have 1 Grave Shifter, so I'm going to take the Giant Fall. And maybe hope that the Grave Shifter comes back. Reckless Ransacking. Bogart's Embrace. I do like the Bogart's Embrace. So we're going to take that because that's an exile. Blinding Curiosity, we already have one. Man. That's a... Yeah, nothing I really want, so we'll just hold off on the Stalactite Dagger. Sourbread Auntie. When this creature enters, you may blight 2. If you do, create 2 1/1 black... Well... I could have taken the one that gives +2/+0 for each other goblin you control, but... Trample and haste till end of turn, so that means we will get rid of one of the spells. Ooh, a Cinder Strike. I do like. We'll get that one. We'll do the Convoke spell, even though we're not doing it, and then the Reflexes. Okay. So we have definitely made some decisions here. We're a bit more focused than we were last time because we definitely made the decisions early enough to get the rewards for it. Now, so you have fixed it. It did not fix it because it puts it on the bottom now. We do have a lot of creatures. We do have 15 creatures. Okay. That'll have First Strike, but that has Lifelink. But I don't have enough 2-drops. So I could make an argument to get rid of the Feastling as a creature. Could also get rid of a Bile Vial. We could drop a Bile Vial, but I like how goblin-y we are. I do like the Twilight Diviner, though. That is a really sick card. It's going to make us copies. Is lifelink that important? Well, we're going to find out. We only have one card that has lifelink. So now that brings us to 14 creatures. And we have 2 spells to get rid of. Okay. Cinder Strike is amazing. Impolite Entrance might be one that we get rid of. Auntie Sentence reveals their hand or a 2/2 till end of turn. That's removal. That's a removal. Removal and or pump. Removal. 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 That works really well with our deck. That's pretty good card draw. Card draw as well, technically. We can get rid of the Feed the Flames, too. Because we have plenty of removal. Yeah, so we're gonna do that and that. That is what I would do in this deck. So you're looking at it right there, right now. We got goblins for days. 14 creatures, 11 of them are goblins. 2 of them are goblins as well, but they are shapeshifters. So we have 13 goblins in this deck. The only elf, the only non-goblin card I think we have is the Twilight Diviner as the creature slot. And that's a pretty good creature to splash in with your goblin deck, considering we're making copies here. So let's get into game 1 and see what happens. Once again, thank you for watching the draft video here on Max Heroes and Villains. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Especially if you've made it this far into the video. It means I'm entertaining you in a certain way. And that warms my heart. It really does. Now we have a turn 1 play, removal, a turn 4 play. I like it because we have the Bile. And we're going to see about Bile Vial Bogart. Alright, cool. We hit. I don't want to reveal that we have our second land, our second color yet. Azorius Scoundrel. Ooh. But it's to any other target. So this is weird. If I blight 1 or pay 3, that doesn't make any darn sense. Blight 1. It's a removal for removal's sake. I want to see what happens. Because if they bring out like a creature that's 1/1 but like really powerful, we could Bog Slither's Embrace. -1/-1ing the Bogart. We could do a 2-for-1 play if we get really cheeky here. Even though it would be a 2-for-2, but still. We come out more positive in the end. Alright. So it's a flash. Gains hexproof. Till end of turn, though. Gains hexproof until end of turn, though. So that was definitely weird. And we're missing land drops. Shut up, I play 16 lands for a reason. Come to think of it, though, I might cut one more piece of removal for a land in this deck. Alright. Has flying. And they've kept up enough to do. They've kept up enough to do a counter, at least, but they are all inning on the Gavel Gill Scoundrel now that it has flying. Vigilance is 3/5. Whenever it attacks, you may tap an untapped creature you control. If you do, this creature can't be blocked this turn. I'm hoping they spell something here. As we wait patiently for the tides of the world, as our opponent figures out what they want to do. They have something in hand. I hope they cast... I was hoping they would cast a spell. But we get a spell. Do we have a goblin to exile? Alright, I think we're going to do this. And we're going to do the nameless inversion. And if it gets countered, it gets countered. There's nothing we can do about it. We're going to see if this works. Because they're going to have to blight too. And we can make that an 0-5. Right now. Okay. So we have nullified the Scoundrel. To the point that we can boulder dash it now. If we felt so inclined. Depends on what they do. We could Bog Slither's Embrace as well. We could Bog Slither's Embrace into a boulder dash. And clear the fields and get in for 4, as our opponent takes a really long time to figure out what they want to do, and I can see why. We got a pretty devastating turn because we managed to put 3 -1/-1 counters on their basically Voltron Gravel Gill Scoundrel. But if you don't think I'm making Goblin standard, budget style, you're wrong. Because I am. So it all depends on what happens on this turn with our opponent. That's a deep eye. That's a flash. Untap each other merfolk. If it's a land, and it happens, if it's a land, I think we Grave Shifter. No. Depends on what we draw, as our opponent is deep in the tank. So the Deep Way Navigator, when it enters, untap each other merfolk you control. As long as you attack with 3 or more merfolk this turn, merfolk you control get +1/+0. So they're running merfolk, we're running goblins. They're deep or they disconnected. That being said, we can Bogart Mischief. If they DC'd, I feel bad for them because this game was about to start getting good. I hope they didn't disconnect, because even if we lose this game, this is starting to turn out to be a really good game. Okay. We made Blight 1. If we do, create 2 1/1s. Now, we're going to pay 1 life. We're going to target them. We're going to blight that and submit. Now they have a choice to make. Because when it comes to that, they cannot hexproof it. They cannot use any means to prevent, because we're making them choose. If we targeted the Navigator or we targeted the Scoundrel, we in theory could do that. But I think they just disconnected, which stinks. I think they disconnected. I don't think they I think they reconnected. Yeah, I think they reconnected, which is fine. But if you're BMing me, that's on you, not me. But either BMing, bad manners, but, you know, constantly roping, we used to call it. I don't know if it's still called roping in Arena. But they are out of timeouts. So unfortunately, maybe they have nothing but lands. And they're mad. And that happens. It happened to me in the last draft, where I drew like 7 lands in a row. And if I drew even just 1 creature or spell card, I win that game. Okay, yeah. So that's what happened. So I'm going to see what their response to this is going to be. So we're doing 2 to them, 2 damage to them, 2 damage to the navigator, 1 damage to them. They can't do that anymore. Well, they couldn't do it anyway. It would have killed their navigator. But at this point, you would figure that it would just be GG's. And I don't need to put any more pressure on our opponent. I could have casted the Spikeling, but I want to make it look like I have something up. That I'm keeping something up. Because either way, doing the Spikeling still makes it a 2-turn clock. Because they're at 8. Even next turn, the max I can do is 7. Still a 2-turn clock. But if they're doing this in a navigating type of way where the rope is just about to end, more power to you, because you screw that once up. You mistime that once, it's game over. But either they drew nothing but lands, or they haven't drawn any lands and everything in their hand is more expensive than the lands they have out right now. But I don't think that's the case. I think they have 5 lands in hand and are just really salty about it. I'm not even going to say good game either, because, look. Finally, yeah. I have a sneaky suspicion that they drew nothing but lands. Which sucks, because that game was starting to get really good. But now we're bronze 3. Yeah, like, sometimes it happens. And, you know, if that's the case, then I can't necessarily fault my opponent for being mad at getting goblined, but at the same time, they're getting goblined again. They go first, but we have a turn 1 Bogart. And we hit our 4th land, so we do have a turn 2 play, a turn 3 play, and a turn 4 play. Yep. Would have saved that for something different, so we're just going to get our feisty Spikeling out. Like, if they had just waited a handful of seconds, they could have 2-for-1'd us with that card. With the Bogart Mischief coming out. But we're dealing with Izzet, so that's either spells or elementals. And they're holding 3 back. Is there... I didn't even look at the counter spells. Let's see if there are any, and we run into one. There's been a delay, so they have an instant in hand. They let it go through. Interesting. Because it's a shapeshifter. Because it is a shapeshifter. It's an everything. Now they have 4 mana. Which, by the way, we can Grave Shifter a Bogart pack. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So I think we have the opportunity to do something really cool here. See if they block. They didn't. Okay, so. Yeah, I think we'll Blinding Curiosity. Get rid of that. Deal pointed damage. We have a Giant Fall, a Goblin Slinger. If we can play the Embrace and the Slinger, So I think we play the Embrace. Okay. And they can behold it too, so behold. Flash. It's got flashback. Okay. All right, so this is an interesting call here. We're going to blight one. We're going to target this. We're going to do that. It's getting exiled. And then we're going to cast this. And they can't behold that thing anymore. They could probably... yeah. Okay, cool. I like to see it. Like to see it. Because then we can grave shift back the Slinger. But the Elemental with one card in hand... This is where I would really love to have like a hand removal. But instead they Burning Curiosity for just 2. Oof. Alright, so Tweeze deals 3 damage. So I think we're going to Grave Shift. And then I think we Grave Shift back to Slinger. And take action with that. So they could make a copy of the Mystic. Flamecaster. Okay. Everything's revealed. Attacking. No blocks. Land. And then we're just going to Boulder Dash that and Boulder Dash them. And then we can Blight 1, deal 2. Yeah, we're rocking and rolling here, folks. And I can do that anytime after Summoning Sickness. Ooh, the Elemental one. That's not good. That gets past our Tweeze. But that's to any target, too, I might add. It's got basic land cycling, so they do they do that? I don't think they did. I don't think they are. Do they copy it now is the question. Now, is Tweeze an instant? Yes, it is. So we have 5 damage in hand. Kindle the Inner Flame, create a token. Elemental Island or Mountain. So they're looking for an Elemental. We also have 7, so they got the Champion of the Path. That's not good for us. But they skip combat. Now that token dies. Alright. They should have attacked with the 4/4, to be perfectly honest with you. I think they realize that now. Okay, cool. Sourbread Auntie. Sourbread Auntie's coming in. Coming in hot. We are going to Blight 2. We have blockers. So now I am looking at still 5 damage between Tweeze and Stingslinger. 6 damage if we kill a 1/1. 7. Yeah, we might steal a victory here from the jaws of defeat. Still a really good game, too, I might add. Because we block with the 2/1/1s. We don't take any damage. We blight in response. But they have a land. So they got the champion. Resolve. So Tweeze might actually be going to Champion of the Path's face. I love it when a plan comes together. So this is what happens. We're going to block. Same result, but we're still doing 2 damage. 3 damage now. So that's 2. That brings him down to 6. We do that. That brings him down to 5. I think we win. So, 3. Yep, we win. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. I think they're left stunned at this point. Winning. So we're 2-0 now. As our Goblins deck. Putting in some work. You know, it's awkward turns, not gonna lie. But yeah, it's so far pretty solid. It's solid. I will give it that. It has been it's been fun, and I can't wait to play Goblins in Standard again. Because obviously I've named the podcast Goblin Grenade for a reason. The other podcasts that I used to be on were Goblin named of some way. Goblin Grenade, obviously. Something in Goblins. I was the Goblin side of the other part of that podcast. So yeah, the podcasts that I've done have had about Magic the Gathering and nerd culture type stuff. Have always been Goblin related. Now, this being said, part of me wants to risk it for the biscuit because this is an amazing draw. Removal for days. Heirloom Auntie. I think we keep and hope. We got two draw steps. We got there, fam. We got there. Never didn't have it. Never didn't have it, never didn't have it, never didn't have it. Now, I want them to think that we're missing a land drop. Because next turn is Heirloom Auntie. See if they block the 1/1 with the 3/3. Because it's a sick little decision they have to make. Okay. They bring out another creature. Box Slither's Embrace. Helps us out so much. No blocks. Anything on... Ooh, nothing on the second main phase. Interesting. All right. So... I think it's a Bogart Mischief, because I don't think there's a 1 blue counterspell. Yeah, let's put it on that. That removes a counter. We're going to put a counter on that. They're going to lose a life. We're going to survey 1. Then we're going to swing in for 3, maybe? Okay, they're going to... Tap target creature? Okay. So that's 5. You know, I thought they were going to do that I thought we were in combat and I had already attacked with the Auntie. That's okay. Giant fall. Giant fall for the win here. Oh, yeah. So, problem being with what just happened with our opponent. First things first. We are going to... Blight 1. We're going to target that. We're going to do that. Okay. Now Auntie's in full form. Then we're going to Giant Fall. That to that. And then we're going to swing in for a big old 4/4. And then next turn, we can Brain Rot whatever they bring in and then Scuzzback Scoundrel. But I don't think we Scuzzback Scoundrel, actually. Well, we could Blight it to get some tokens on there. But Heirloom Auntie right now is putting in some work. They want to kill something. I can't blame them. Restore target creature with power 3 or greater and an artifact. Ooh, good call. Come on, the Pyrrhic Strike. But we have that. Eclipse Bogart. Oh, yeah. We're bringing Grave Shifter. And then we're going to bring in a Scuzzback Scoundrel. And then we'll just swing in for 1, see what they do. Okay, that's a 5/6. Beginning your first main save, you may Blight 1. We're going to decline. Grave Shifter for 4. Blight Rot. It's going to make it a 2. That's pretty slick sequencing right there, folks. I like it. I like it so far. Even if we lose this game, I like it. I like what we're doing. We're doing better things than we did in the first game because we picked a lane and we found our lane and stuck in it and got a cohesive deck, whereas last time we just cobbled together something. But yeah, this time, our opponent is like, what do I take out? Because I have Grave Shifter in hand, but I also have a removal and Nameless Inversion. It's a Hallowed Fountain. They couldn't afford to make it come into play untapped, because that would be 7, and that would almost be lethal. And they can't attack because that's a 2-turn clock. Copy, except it's a changeling. Any creature on the battlefield. So they make it a Scuzzback Scoundrel. Well, I have bad news for you. I had the removal in hand. I'm going to decline because we're just going to do this. We got to pedal to the metal here. Pedal to the metal and hope we don't get paid with what is in one of... We didn't get punished. Love to see it. You'll love to see it. Rakdos Goblins, which is a little different than normal mono red goblins, but you know, I wasn't there for the last time. I wasn't playing last time Rakdos Goblins could have been a thing in standard. And I wasn't playing Rakdos Goblins in modern because Auntie's Hovel, which I think should have been reprinted, maybe that's a hot take on me, should have been at least part of the bonus sheet, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I could be wrong, and it could be on the bonus sheet. But Auntie's Hovel definitely spiked in price for an oddly specific deck. And the Hovel, let me pull it up on my phone as we're waiting patiently for the next game. So, Auntie's Hovel. We have nothing, so we have to... Alright, that's a little bit better because we got the Blight Rot, the Chaos Spewer. I think we take the Blight Rot. I hate taking the removal out. Alright, so Auntie's Hovel from Lorwyn comes into play. You may reveal a goblin card from your hand. If you don't, Auntie's Hovel comes into play tapped. Tap it to add a black or a red to your mana pool. At the moment, oh, okay, it's definitely adjusted, and now it's like $10. Whereas before, I know when I could have, when it could have been playable in modern, it jumped to like $40, $50 because Lorwyn at the time was the only printing of it. We are going to decline. We are going to attack and see if they block. That's called free damage. Free real estate. When this creature enters, you may blight 2. No, let's blight that one. I'd rather have more damage on the field. Yes, we could get blown out. Now, that's got the touches of death. We're going to target an opponent. We're going to target our weird. And we're going to see if they're going to make us pay. Okay. We're going to decline. I'm going to see what they do. I could. Yeah, I'm gonna blade it again. I'm gonna make him do it again. Champion of the Weird, man. It's a risk-reward card, that's for sure. Okay. Chaos Spirit just goes back into my hand. Now, we have a lot of potential damage coming. Never mind. The Chomping Changeling tells us to kiss our ass. We don't need to do that now. But that being... Well, they still have the Death Touch. So, we are... So... keyed up. And that's bad. Although, Herlumonte isn't that bad. That's a 6-5, though. They're going to do some damage to us, so we're going to no attack right now. We're going to see what they do with the Boulder Dash. Okay. Well, we just got our butts kicked here. Not gonna lie. The Elemental deck popped off. Elemental Changeling. And, you know, hit him with the little lands, am I right? Yeah, we lost. There was no coming back from that. There was no coming back from that. Look, there's no shame in a quick concede, and I know they'll put the little thing. Don't ever give up. Fight till the end. That was the end. My board wipes. I get my board wiped. Two of the 3 creatures I have remaining are dead. I have 1 creature left that are an amazing stack of creatures. I know how my deck is. I have no way to get rid of those 2 behemoths that they had out there. So yes, it's perfectly fine to do a quick concede if you know your deck and you know you're done. A 1, no 2, and a 3, and a 4. And we draw. Okay, you're having a laugh. This game's having a laugh. That being said, though, we didn't draw that many lands, but I was just trying. I should have used maybe that one more time. The weird. I should have used the weird. Bruh. Well, let's see how important they think the Timid Shield Bearer is. Obviously, they don't. I respect the mouse from Bloomborough. But no retreat, no surrender type stuff. What now? They missed a land drop last turn, by the way. So do they have the card? I think I just Champion of the Weird. And behold this. I really think they have the attack card. I really do. I think they have the kill target tapped creature. If they do, that's fine. Yeah, destroy target attacking. But that's okay. I knew they had it. They can't have a second one, though. They missed another land drop. Selesnya decks can't be affording missing land drops. The Goblin player should not be hitting all land drops. Alright, sorry about that. I can blight 1. Damn it. I missed my opportunity. I missed my opportunity to do 3 damage. That's on me. That is on me completely. I should have done that pre-combat, got in for 3. Okay, Grave Shifter to return the champion. So yeah. Yep, it was a land. I mean, if it got put to the bin, it would have not been a land, but they hit their 4th land. But the other thing is, we didn't have many spells. We hit lands. So it's kind of like a balance issue there. They weren't hitting enough lands, and we were hitting way too many to make a thing, to make a matter, to make a good, you know what? So I seriously think they might have another protective response. So we lost. In rather suspicious ways. I mean, it's a tale of two opponents. One who acted like a spoiled brat when they got mana screwed. Another one who actually kept playing and eventually turned the game around for their end. Now, mind you, we drew too many lands, but still doesn't change the fact that Round 3's opponent didn't handle it well. Round 4's opponent our previous opponent handled it beautifully. Now, part of me is wondering if I might. First main, Blight 1. Make a treasure. We drew a land. So I'm going to decline. Going to do this. Going to cast Twilight Diviner. Pray that we see another turn with it. Attack with the Scrounger. Now, if we see a turn with this and we get the Auntie. Oh. Okay. You love to see it. I'm going to put a counter on them. Okay. Then I'm going to Auntie's Heroine. Then, oh, I read Twilight Diviner wrong. Oops. So, what we're going to do is Blight 1. We're going to target their Brute. We're going to auto-pay. We're going to submit the 1 on that. The Burning Curiosity. We kill that. Then we're going to swing in with the Diviner. I misread Diviner. I thought it was comes into play, copy it. If they entered or cast from a graveyard. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. Reading the card explains the card. Although when you read the card wrong, that's on me. Now, I think our opponent knows that this is bad news. Because they also think, unfortunately, we're graveyard shenanigans. And I can't blame them for that. Because we put Twilight Diviner in our Goblin deck. Actually, though, do we have a replacement for Twilight Diviner? I don't know if we do. And once again, they're not thinking. There's nothing to think about. It's either a block or no. They're yeah. Yeah, take that 3 damage like the bitch you is. I hope you didn't draw a land. So you can just, yeah, good. Quit. Yeah. Punk ass. Cry about it some more. So, once again, I mean, at least they had the decency to quit instead of doing the full rope, but still, they roped me twice. I get it, you're mad. I was mad too. I got mana screwed and mana filled. I forgot to take the Viner out. That's okay. We have Bogart Mischief. We have 4 mana. We have removal. We have an Auntie. I think an Elder Auntie too. So I think we might be good. And they mold the 6. So we're going to Elder Auntie and then Blight 1 with the 1/1 to be positive. Or might just do that to the Auntie. Okay. There's that. This Grey Forest Druid is an amazing card because it adds 1 mana of any color and you always bolt the bird, but right now we weren't able to bolt the bird. But what we can do they have something in their hand already to deal with this? Are you kidding me? Come on. They don't... Not everyone's playing the Enchantment Hate card. I mean, I'm still concerned. I mean, you can pump it up if you want. I ain't got no tricks, but... It does have trample, which is okay. But now we're going to do the transfer of life there. And... Alright, so... I think we do this. And then I think we do that into that. And that's how we do it. Get rid of the Farrier. Or they can just, you know, have the Blossoming Defense. They still take the 1. But we do have Gristle Glutton. They're running out of cards, I might add. But they have a lot of power on the board. A lot of power. Gains Trample and Haste, draw a card. Okay. Okay. Now, do we triple block here? Do we triple block or double block? Alright, I think we do this and let them have it. If they have it, they have it. But we get... Okay. Chaos Spewer. We can Blight 2. So now we have a big chunky 5/4 on the board. We got rid of most of their board. We could blight one. Yeah, I think we blight one. And then discard. I mean, they probably have a pump too. I'm afraid of the pump. Okay. We don't have pump. We don't have. They don't have pumps anymore. Double strike. They're just letting the 5 go through. They're down to 9. We're down to 17. We're playing. Both competitors are playing the Top Deck Olympics. And what did our opponent top deck? I don't think they top deck something important. Do they attack with the 2/4? It says double strike. That screams pump. So either way, I get to do that. And the auntie. So. See if they have something that gives it more toughness. Interesting. We got it out of their hand, though. Yeah. Ah, it's a sorcery. Why is that a sorcery? That's on me. That's on me. Top Deck Olympics. Reading the card explains the card. All that other happy stuffs. But I got rid of their double striker. Cinder Strike. Deals 4 to me. I mean, deals 4 to them. We're just going to exile that creature. I can do this all day. Oh, man. But do they have an elemental in their hand? They didn't find anything? But I'm not finding anything either, and that's a problem. It's been a good game. Ooh, Blight Rod. We have definitely a ways to go. Now, I could have killed the Great Forest Druid, and I should have, but it is an instant. All right. We'll see if they have the +2/+2 hexproof. Got Got it out of their hand, though. Got it out of their hand, though. Okay, cool. There we go. We can kill their brawler if they block. 3/3 tree folk. That's fine. Attack with a 4/2. Has to be blocked. It dies. You get pinged to life. I do that. Twilight Diviner. When it enters, survey 2. I am happy with those. Okay. They're gonna attack. We can take it. We can take it. So. I think we can attack with the Diviner. Because they can always exile the Gold Meadow. We can't do champion. We should have done it. We could. I like the way we did it because we can Bogart then weird. Oof. What are they going to choose? That was a heck of a game. That was one amazing game. Best game of the draft. And we've had some bangers on this draft. And even the last draft, too. But that was one amazing game. Both of us, both players, me and my opponent, were playing the top deck Olympics. And it was just a matter of time on who got the better top deck. And we've gone positive on this one with the 1,600 gems and 4 packs. So, now that we're free rolling, let's try to win one more game, shall we? As we are now 5 wins and 2 losses. One more, and we're out. Oof. Here's the thing. We got 2/2 drops. And Spikeling can do some fun things. So, let's keep it. I like the fact that to this day I've still kept the Theros Beyond Deathlands. Well, no, now. We're not. Bolt the Bird. It's the age-old adjective. It's a wise saying, not an age-old adjective. Bolt the Bird. Bird of Paradise is a 0/2 bird for 1 green mana that taps to add 1 mana of any color. Lightning Bolt is a 1 red spell for an instant that deals 3 damage to any target. Hence, Bolt the Bird. Here's the other thing, too. They would have gotten a free Flaring Cinder at that part. Now, we're going to have to do this in such a way that we're going to have to do the Spikeling first. The Glutton into Mischief, but we do have Tweeze. I hate the art of this card and love it at the same time. That's a Sanar first year, and that is a card that wrecks shop. So, I think we have to hold mana back. I think we have to take with the Spikeling. They may block with the Cinder or the Sanar first year. They saw it coming. Now, if we had 1 more mana, we could have done that into the Tweeze, but there's a Tweeze, and they're going to play it. Because they control... Yep. I mean, I think it's Gristle Glutton that gets it. They may do the spikeling, though, because that's going to throw some things in. If we get our bolt... No, we already used it. We already used our boulder dash. That's right. Because we had to bolt the bird, which was the smart play. They tweezed the glutton. I saw that coming. But they liked their cards in hand because they didn't discard. And they... We're going to need some... We're going to need a bigger boat. Okay, there's a possibility here. Okay, so we got a counter spell in hand. Let's just get Bogart Mischief off the battlefield and let's get that counter out of their hand. Okay, we are going to do this. And then when this dies, we're going to do that on the center. Then we're going to attack with the Spikeling and see if they have a flash creature or a spell. Okay. Once again, really good game happening right now. But that Ashling's command just kind of wrecked us. I don't even need to see what the middle card is. It's an Ashling's command all the way. Choose 2, create a token, deals 2 damage to each creature target player controls. That's going to be 3 damage on him, though. That's going to be 3 damage on him, though. Because they can discard. They do that. I mean, we got to get rid of the salmon. And I think we can get rid of the Sander now. I want to discard a card so bad, but I can't. Because I want to keep Blight Rot in case they bring out a big chonker. They've drawn a lot of cards this game. They've drawn 4 more cards than we have. 5, actually. No, 6, because they started 1 less than us. Yeah, see, this is why I wanted the Blight Rot for when the Zolrath, if they were big chonky. Now, we are in a bad spot right now. We are in a critically bad spot right now. We have 6 lands in hand. 10 more left. We gotta... That's a giant fall. That does nothing for us. I mean, I think we lose, but we were close. We were close to winning this one. Or at least doing a good showing, because our opponent, man, give them the credit. They got that Izzet deck firing off with tons of card draw. Now, not them being also smart on not doing that first block on Sander, that I thought they would do, so they could fall into the trap of the Tweeze that I was trying to lay. But just 2 turns with Sander got them here. Because, you know, Sander got them one thing, but it mainly got them the Ashling's Command, which absolutely wrecked us. I mean, Harmonized Crescendo, too, was the other card they got. But Ashling's Command just wrecked our face. And I just want to see them pop off. Because this is what an elemental deck is doing in this format. So, I can't even blight the 1, but I need the 2 cards. So we can do this. And now Grave Shifter. We don't even have anything that we can Grave Shift. Maybe... Alright, maybe we Grave Shift back the Bogart. We take action on that. If they get rid of it, we give them the good game, let them deal tons of damage to our face. We have the good game preempted for you, schmooze boy. Good game. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you pop off. Attack. Yeah. Get me the negative. That was a good game. That was a good game. Like, that's the elemental deck that you dream of. Because look at this. Like, they have the Omni Changeling. They have the Sorcerer. They have like the merfolk that does crazier things, that gets tokens. The Wandering Farewell. They have tons of card draw. They got the Sanar out, which was absolutely brutal. They got the Elemental Wizard too. Like, you know, they even tweezed us. The Flame Braider, come on. That was an amazing deck they drafted. Ours wasn't a slouch either. Like, we gave it to them pretty good, but Sanar, man, is a sick rip. So, is there anything that I would have done different with this deck? You can make an argument for Mornsong Aria. Players can't draw cards or gain life. That would have been a big burden for us, because at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life, searches their library for a card, puts it into their hand, and then shuffles. That's basically letting me and opponent draw the best card remaining in our deck. Could we have done Impolite Entrance? Possibly, but that's also going in Zada as well, to come to think of it now. Champion of the Path. Whenever another elemental you control enters, it deals damage equal to a power. Whenever this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card. It's a 4-drop for 3 and 1 red. This 7/3 elemental sorcerer would have went against everything that we did. The card that I would definitely have taken out had I read it better, Twilight Diviner. I thought this was whenever we casted a card, if they entered or were cast from a graveyard. I forgot. I thought it was like whenever we cast a card, if it entered or was cast from a graveyard. I didn't know it was the same sentence. So, that being said, I probably would have taken that out and put the Prideful Feastling in, because it's same mana cost, but also it's a changeling, so it is a goblin as well. And that would round our goblin count to 14. Every creature in the deck technically would have been a goblin. I think that's the only thing that I would have done differently. And that's saying something. Usually I'm very, very down on the draft decks that I make. But this one went 5 and 3. Could have gone 6-3. But that being said, still, we're 1,600 gems and 4 packs, and I'm absolutely loving Lorwyn right now. I can't wait to draft this for realsies in paper in a store, but that's going to be in New Jersey, folks. My name has been Dom Douglas for Max Heroes and Villains, and may your top deck always be mythic. Don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. It's an hour long.